We are following breaking news. A black man who was found guilty of attempted rape in 1977 has just been freed after a Louisiana judge ruled he did not get a fair trial. Vincent Simmons was serving a 100-year prison sentence for the attempted aggravated rape of twin 14-year-old girls. He was convicted by a jury of 11 white men and one black woman. Simmons says he did not commit this crime. But decades later, the sisters, Sharon and Karen Sanders, maintain Simmons attacked them. 2 weeks after the incident, they told police they were forcibly taken by a black man to a country road and sexually assaulted. The sisters say Simmons gave them his name during the attack, but the women never gave that name to police. They also never gave a detailed description of their alleged attacker apart from his race, and they said, quote, all blacks look alike. During Simmons' time in prison, he obtained information not presented at his trial, including a file of a medical examination conducted on the sisters, which revealed there was no evidence of sexual assault. Simmons has served 44 years of his sentence after trying nearly 16 times to get his conviction thrown out. Joining me now is CBS News lead national correspondent David Begnaud. David has spent months reporting on this case and even helped uncover new information. Hi, David. So tell us about the judge's decision.
Tanya, the judge actually took into account some of the new evidence, but it's really old evidence in this sense, and it's amazing. In 1994, Vincent Simmons is the one who said, hey, can I get a copy of my court file? Can you send it to me at the prison at Angola? And they did. And when he started going through it, he found the medical report that you just mentioned, which said that there was no conclusion that a sexual assault had been committed against the girls. He also found other things, like they couldn't identify the attacker when they first spoke to the sheriff. So he was shocked, right? And he started petitioning the courts more than 16 times since the early 90s. 8 or 9 judges turned him down, including the father of the judge who ruled today that Vincent Simmons did not get a fair trial. And he said this, quote, I find that the time limitations have been overcome by the allegations of new evidence and in the interest of justice. Vincent Simmons has argued all along, I didn't get a fair trial. Courts dismissed it without even hearing the merits of the case. Gone, get out of here, get out of here. Time after time. It was this Judge Bill Bennett who took a look at everything and said, there has been a constitutional violation. His civil rights have been violated. He did not get a fair trial. Now, the judge was quick to say this. I am not ruling on whether or not Vincent Simmons is innocent or guilty, but I am telling you after 44 years in prison, he deserves a new trial. When he said that and in the courtroom, there was an outburst of joy. The judge told everyone to quiet down, and the district attorney, Charlie Riddle, essentially said, Judge, I'd like to make a motion. He took to the podium and he stood before the judge and he said, Your Honor, we are not going to retry him. He said 44 years is enough, and he said, I'd like to have the victim stand, and he pointed to the back, and that is when Karen and Sharon Sanders, 14 years old at the time they reported the crime, now 59, stood up and they looked at the district attorney, and he said, essentially, I have their support to null pros it. It's a legal term. And by null prosing it and not taking this case to trial again, Vincent Simmons is essentially a free man. At that point, wearing dress shoes, an orange jumpsuit, and with his feet shackled, the Angola guards leaned down and they started to take the shackles off of his feet, and Vincent Simmons looked like a deer in the headlights. I mean, he was virtually speechless. People behind him were crying. His defense attorney, a man from Brooklyn, New York, who took the case because his wife pressured him into doing it and said, honey, this is a case you need to fight to the end on. The defense attorney had tears in his eyes. We just watched moments ago before I came to the camera. It was unclear, was Vincent Simmons going to walk out of the courtroom in his orange jumpsuit, or did he have to go back to Angola, the state prison, and be processed out? They got on the phone. The warden said, bring him back. They got on the phone with another woman who said, wait, I'm confused. I think you can let him go. Finally, the decision was made. Handcuff him again, put him back in the shackles, put him back in the car, and take him to Angola. We will process him out. Yeah. And Vincent Simmons could walk out of Angola a free man by the time the sun sets tonight.
Incredible. He does look stunned in that video we just saw of him leaving the courtroom there. David Begnaud, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for all the amazing reporting you've done on this story.
You bet.